Hi guys, Bianca and Ben here, and today we'll be making some veggie nuggets. So what ingredients will we be using today, Ben?
We've got zucchini, carrot, pumpkin, potato, thyme,
Yes.
arrowroot starch, potato starch, salt and pepper, gluten-free breadcrumbs, and some flour.
And today we'll be using Cambrooks breadcrumbs. Can I just ask as well, are there any other herbs that you could use with this dish instead of thyme, if you don't have that handy?
Oh, you can use anything. Parsley is a good one.
Yeah.
Anything that really goes with nuggets, really.
Yeah. And maybe sweet potato as well instead of potato?
Yeah, sweet potato could work well. You just make sure that when you cook it, you press all the excess moisture out, because sweet potato is very, very watery.
Okay, fantastic.
Yep. So I'm just going to grate the carrot. Sorry, this is zucchini. Just grating it.
It looks similar, right?
So the reason why we grate it is because obviously we're doing it through raw. When you're cooking it, it cooks very quickly. So yeah.
Okay.
You can use a different sort of veggies as well, whatever you still want to use. I've just gone through the carrot and the zucchini because I know it's quite low.
Yep, that's right.
Not free. Would you like to weigh out the potato and the pumpkin for me?
Pumpkin, yep.
So I'm led to believe that 60 grams of cooked pumpkin is about 1 gram of protein.
That's right, yep.
So what we can do here is we can nearly triple it and double it, and we can make a big batch. So these are great for freezing and quick, easy meals. So you can bulk prep it and then it's done. So we'll chuck it in here. So how much is that?
That was 60 grams of pumpkin, and 50 grams of potato is 1 gram of protein.
So what I've done today is I've made it easier by pre-cooking the pumpkin and the potato, just to show you guys how to do it.
So how have you pre-cooked it?
With the pumpkin, I cut it in half, and then I roasted it for about an hour and a half at 190 degrees, depending on the size of the pumpkin. With the potatoes, I just peeled and boiled them until they were ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it till they're soft and kind of mushy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just mashed potato consistency. You want it to be cooked as much as possible.
And did you put any oil on the pumpkin when you roasted it, or just purely threw it in the oven?
Just purely threw it in the oven.
Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic.
So we're tripling the recipe today, just because that's 1 carrot and 1 zucchini. It's quite a lot. So we've tripled there. So we've got 180 grams of sweet potato.
Yes.
And 150 pumpkin.
We've got 180 grams of pumpkin and 150 grams of potato.
Yeah, I'm still learning my vegetables, guys.
So any extras that you have, if you're not cooking them on the day, you can freeze them. So this recipe is really good for freezing and taking out, and then you can fry them up. But we'll get to that later on.
Yeah. So we've got everything in the bowl. Bit of salt. Bit of pepper. Just a bit of thyme, just for a bit of flavour.
So you can sub in parsley here if you'd like as well, which is my favourite herb, I have to say.
Alright, and now sort of just mix with your hands just to make sure it's all combined. Now, is the arrowroot starch and the potato starch free?
Yes, they are. Yes.
So we can just, I like to add a little bit, just so it just combines a little bit better.
And is it equal amounts of both? Or do you do one more than the other?
It's just a feel, so you don't want it to be too wet, and you also don't want it to be too dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's enough to it's binding it essentially,
Yeah,
is
just
it?
binding, yeah.
Okay.
Right, so when we got it to this stage here, as you can see, you sort of just want to, you can do whatever you want. So we'll sort of pre-weigh them. Depends it depends what size you sort of want. So we can go. So it's
about 50 grams.
Yeah. So then we'll make sure when we're doing this, we make sure they're all about 50 grams.
Okay. So making equal size nuggets, I guess, is easier for working out the protein content at the end of the day. So you can have your batch recipe, you know, how many grams of each ingredient that you've used, and then that makes it easier at the end to divide it up. by the amount of nuggets that you get to work out the protein content. Okay, so once you've rolled your mixture into balls, you now shape them into nuggets, and we'll have a nugget shaping contest at the moment. So Ben, first teach me how to do it.
So the way I do it is just sort of in your hand flat.
Yep.
Just press it down a little bit,
Okay.
so it's nice like that. And just bring it in.
Mine quite doesn't quite look like yours.
There you go. Just as long as they're a nice consistent shape, you know, you don't have to be perfect here. So I just flatten your hand,
Yep.
just a nice little part, bring on the edges. So these are great for kids if you want, and if you can mix it up with different veggies if you want.
I think you can add some corn to this if you want to up the protein content a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, little corn kernels.
Yeah, you can do anything. You can put mushrooms in there if you really
Yeah.
wanted to.
Mushrooms would be great.
Veggie nuggets is a very broad name for them.
I think mine are looking all right. Not too bad.
Yeah, so if you've got any leftover vegetables from your dinner from the night before, chop them up, put them through. They'll last, and you know, it gives it another element to the flavour.
So they'll work just as well as fresh veggies as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Good way of using up what's in the fridge.
No wastage.
Yeah, that's good. So whose looks better?
Well, we all
The
know
chef
who
or
won
the cook?
we all know who won the contest there.
Yeah, I think his looks a little better. I agree.
Welcome back. That was a quick 30 minutes. So these have been in the freezer for about 30 minutes just to firm them up a little bit so they're a bit easier to handle when we crumb them.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we make a little slurry out of the low protein flour and some soda water. You can use rice flour or corn flour if you want to as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you want to add some of the breadcrumbs into there for me?
So we've got some breadcrumbs here. You can also use up some stale bread. Can you use like some of leftover bread that you've got at home to make some breadcrumbs instead of these?
You can use stale bread as well. Gluten-free breadcrumbs are also very low, I believe.
Yeah. Bit hard to open. Okay. Is that enough there?
Yeah, we can always add more.
Okay.
Yep. So the key to this one here is to make it a nice consistency that'll coat the nugget and not be too thick, not too thin.
And why are we using soda water instead of just normal water?
It just helps bring it out a bit more fluffy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't have soda water, is there anything else you can add to normal water?
Oh, you can use normal water, but
Okay.
yeah. All right, there we go. Got the consistency I need now.
And so these breadcrumbs, they've got a bit of seasoning in them. Can
Yeah.
you season, like if you're using your bread to make breadcrumbs, can you season that a little bit with
Oh, absolutely. Dry herbs. So
dry herbs?
Yeah.
So things like what, oregano.
Thyme. We've got thyme in there. You could put a bit of garlic in there if you wanted to.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yep. So we'll get crumbing. So I'm just gonna
It's a good one.
I'm just gonna dip this in here
Yep.
and then pass it over to you. And what I would do here, just like that.
It's very chefy. I'll try. All right.
Yep. You're doing a crummy job there.
That's not good. It's not a compliment. Okay. That's a bit hard to do. It's quite coarse, these breadcrumbs. Doesn't matter how coarse your breadcrumbs are, so if you're making it from scratch, does it have to be fine or it's all right, whatever?
It's personal preference.
Okay.
Personal preference. Might have to reshape these ones just a little bit.
Yeah, they don't look not in the same shape as before. All right.
They smell good though, those
They
crumbs.
do. So after crumbing, we're pan frying these, or how are we cooking them?
We're going to deep fry them today, but
Okay.
you can pan fry them, put them in the oven.
Yep.
But if you're not ready to cook them, put them back in the freezer when you're ready to do them. So while ahead of time if you'd like.
So you can pull these out and either pan fry them or throw them in the oven
From frozen?
afterwards.
Yeah,
Yep,
from
from frozen.
Yeah.
And how long do you think they'll last in the freezer for?
Oh, 6 months at least.
6 months. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
So
So
if-
I guess these are good to batch make.
Yeah.
Throw them in the freezer and then when you're...
So out of the stuff we made today, we got 13 nuggets.
Okay.
So if you want to make a big batch, by all means, go nuts and spend the whole day doing it, and then you don't have to make them for 6 months.
Yeah, no, that's good. Very good. So this would be fun to do with the kids, forming them and getting them to crumb them as well. Pretty easy to do.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
think it's too hard to mess up, and doesn't matter if they mess up really, because
They're the ones that have to
pretty
eat it.
rustic looking, as you can see.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, Ben might do it differently, but mine are a little bit rustic. Homemade. All right.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so just deep fry these for about 5 minutes. So they're
Okay.
nice golden brown. Because they're not quite frozen yet, they're still quite fresh. 5 minutes is enough. But if I was to do them in a pan, from frozen, I would pan sear them and then in the oven for about 10 minutes.
Okay, so if you're cooking them fresh, feel free to pop them in a pan with a bit of oil and just shallow fry them. Otherwise, if you're doing them from frozen, you can shallow fry again and then pop them in the oven so that the inside of them cooks a little better. So if you were to put them in the oven, what temperature would you be looking at and for how long approximately?
180 degrees, 10 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
But always check before you try.
Yes, okay. So they look pretty good. You can serve them with some salad and sauce. So sauces you can do tomato sauce, barbecue, sweet chili as well is really good. Yep. And enjoy.